My name is Sunny. Last week, I shared my Big Five results: high extroversion, high openness, high consciousness, and low neuroticism. And this week, I wanted to test those numbers again real life. So I interviewed colleagues from two different companies and my current manager to find out how they actually see me. The feedback was very positive, actually. They described me as energetic, supportive, efficiency-minded, and someone with a strong sense of ownership. My manager added ambitious, dream-driven, and fast exacting. Honestly, those match well with what the Big Five would predict. High extroversion explains the energy and the directness, and high consciousness explain the ownership and execution. But both groups have the same concern. I get too attached to my own ideas. My direction is sometimes unclear, and even though I seem to listen, I do not always really take in what other people say before I move forward. So, in short, maybe I move fast, but my team is not always sure where are we going. And I think I know why. When I push hard on a decision, it is not ego, it is accountability. My low neuroticism means I stay calm under pressure, so I do not feel the urgency that others might feel. My high consciousness makes me feel personally responsible for the outcome, so I push forward. And I do not always realize that I am moving faster than my team is ready for. That is sometimes I have done repeatedly that have built this perception. According to Newberg and Dyke, this is selective perception. People read the same behavior through very different frame. A team member with higher agreeableness who needs more safety to speak up will experience my urgency as pressure, but not care. This is not their misunderstanding. This is my blind spot. The one perception I want to push back on is being called ambitious and dream driven. I get why my managers see it that way. I start things quickly. I accusate, execute with confidence. I always talk with people with energetically. I always should like sound like I know where I'm going. But honestly, I think this is what Newbert and Dick call a hollow effect. People see the fast execution and the high energy, and they fill in the rest. They assume there is a clear long-term vision behind it. But what is actually driving that behavior is my high openness, not an obvious and clear strategy. I am generally excited by new ideas and early momentum. Once things get slow and repetitive, my interest drops and my goals start to shift. So the perception of me as a visionary leader, I'm not sure that is accurate. And honestly, I'm not sure my own self-image is fully accurate either. That is probably the most important thing I took away from this exercise. So what do I actually want to change? I want to work on the tension between my high openness and the consistency my team needs from me. In chapter 3, explain that openness brings curiosity and adaptability, which are genuine strengths. But when it pulls me towards the next exciting things before the current one is finished, it starts work against my team and against myself. I also want to work on my moderate agreeableness. I listen, but I do not always truly incorporate what I hear. And that is exactly where the criticism about my listening comes from. Based on research by Barchard and colleagues, naming these gaps nearly is the first step toward the real development, but only if it leads to actual behavioral change. For me, that means slowing down before I decide, checking more honestly with my team, and giving people more stable sense of direction. The leadership I'm learning. It's not just about energy and execution. It is about showing up consistently, even when the excitement is gone. That is the deeper reflection for myself. Thank you for listening, and I'm looking forward to hear feedback from you guys.